Was there any difference in his personality from sober to being on drugs?
No, because I don't think so. I think maybe Marshall has always been a jokester. Like, he's hilarious to be around. He's funny. I really believe that dude belongs in comedies. Like, he could probably write a whole comedy on his own. He could star in a comedy. He could perform comedy. He was always fun to be around. Like, he was, cracking jokes and, playing the dozens where you like cap on each other, your mama jokes, stuff like that. So he was always fun to be around and that sort of stuff. So, besides seeing the crazy drama with him and Kim all the time, you saw three sides. You saw the drama. I take that back. Instead of not three, you see four sides of Eminem. You see the side that he had with Kim. Is that like the crazy? That's the crazy side.
That's the crazy side, okay.
You see the fun jokester, always cracking jokes, fun to be around, life at a party, Marshall. We never called him, we called him M, but people that were closest to him, we always called him Marsh. But then you saw, like the savant, the dude who knew every word in the dictionary that could rhyme words that we couldn't rhyme, that we didn't think rhymed, but the way that he made them rhyme, he could bend it, and make it work to that sentence or syllable or whatever. He would make it all work. Then you saw the father. And the father was like everything. Like that was his life, So, in all reality, out of those four, if I had to pick two, it's Rap and his daughter. And that was it. Like those two, he was dead focused on succeeding in. He wanted to be a father because he didn't have a father. He wanted to be everything to his daughter and provide his daughter. That was his biggest thing, was providing. Damn, this dude was like, him and Kim were living in a house in a neighborhood, and the house kept getting broke into by this same crackhead like 3-4 times.
They catch him?
No, they just ended up saying, fuck this, and they moved.
Oh.
Like, they took the dude took everything out of the house.
Like TVs?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. And this is where his daughter's gonna sleep? Like, fuck.
Was this before his daughter?
This was after.
After his daughter?
Yeah. So it was just like, his mindset was like, I gotta provide. At Christmas, that dude didn't have a pot to piss in with money, but he found a way to give her, fill up that tree with as much shit as he could give her, and that is the most admirable thing. If you could ever say one thing about him, that's the most admirable thing about him, is his dedication and love for his daughter. And now it's daughters, because now he's got Whitney also, who he's adopted. So, it's but rap has always been his thing. But drugs, I think the drugs affected him in private. Where some people are out here doing drugs in front of the world, trying to impress people or whatever, and they end up ODing on a floor. And what do their friends do? Just walk away. Shit like that. And you hear about those type of people dying, I think Marshall fought his own battles with certain things in private and not in front of anybody. But would have conversations with those closest to him who he could actually, talk to about that certain stuff, like Paul probably, Because like I said, like when we were on tour, it was all fun and games. It wasn't, I remember like the first 3 dates, Kim and the kids were on tour, and they had their own bus. And then I think like after the 3rd day, we had like 25, 30 dates that year. And like the 3rd date or 4th date, like he kicked him off the tour, told him to go home. And I know it was because he was battling, battling Valium and battling that shit, because he had gained so much weight. He was winded on stage. So he wasn't the Up in Smoke M. Okay?
Oh, okay.
He was heavier and he was winded. He wasn't running back and forth like that on stage. It was definitely different. I mean, that's where I saw the effects, but I think the rest of it is something that he dealt with in private. And
So at around the time that the album released, his first album, where was your guys' at? Where were you guys? You guys were, when he was going back and forth was he going back and forth from LA or
Yep. Yeah.
to do his album?
Yeah.
What was going on during that time?
He would come back periodically, and play songs for us, that he had just did, and let us hear them. I remember hearing Stan for the first time, like that. I mean, it ended up being on Marshall Mathers LP, but I heard it before the album was out. But yeah, I mean, he was going back and forth. It was funny because the first time he came back from LA, he looked like an essay. He had on Chuck Taylors, khakis, and a white T-shirt, and I thought he was Mexican. And I was like, "What are you doing, dude? Like, what are you doing? Like, that's not you." Like, and he was just, trying to find, this new lifestyle that he was thrust into because of Dr. Dre, by living in LA, by living, periodically coming back here. He was doing nice things for his friends. He would, buy him a video game system. I know he bought one of his friends a car, a used car or a used truck or something.